Optimism isn't sunshine and rainbows. It's fixing things, changing the way we fix things. It's running the world on smarter energy. Because if optimism never stops, then change can't either. GE Vernova, the energy of change.
Mo's made a beat again.
Yeah, no.
Think alike. Hello. Welcome in. Birds Up in the Podcast. It's your boy Q City. This episode 81. All bricked up.
The boy Tom.
You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. All right. All right.
I do not approve of this.
Yeah. That was all me. Now.
That's all him.
Our season's over. It took a week to grieve. We're back. We really just gonna get into the off-season content, off-season topic. I want to go ahead and start putting this out now. We will be live streaming the draft. Now, Taj is a bit more knowledgeable about the ins and outs of the legal ramifications of how to do that without us getting put down. So, gonna lean on him and do some reading as well. So we may not. What is it? We can't show the pics or yeah.
You can't show or have audio, but we can talk about it. We can react to it. We just can't have audio.
Yeah.
Well,
so
we might be able to have audio.
We don't make enough for the NFL to sponsor one of our broadcasts. So in the meantime, we will be reacting to the draft. Last 2 years, we've gone to the draft. Can't this year, and that is all my fault. Y'all could blame me for that one. Pull out game week. Got a baby coming around that time, so I can't leave. But we will be able to live stream the draft, right? Now, the build up to that is building out our team, building out our staff, right? And then also defining needs within the team. We'll do that over the course of. We got months. Yeah, got time.
The coming weeks. Yeah, weeks, months.
We should be here every week.
It's gonna be a long ride.
Y'all tune in.
Just come
get your little fix. You know what I'm saying? Hear from your boys and get on about your day. Now, topic at hand. We have hired Mr. Jeff Ulbrich'd as our new defensive coordinator. I have my thoughts on it. Some of them are a little left field. But, Taj, tell me what you thought about it, bro.
Yeah, because when we initially found out about it, I remember you texted me my thoughts. Said I'm neutral. I don't really have any expectations. And I'm kind of still there right now because one thing that this means is that we're going to be going back to a 4-3. So we're going to have our third scheme shift in as many years. And we are probably more built for a 4-3 front, but we still need to attack edges. So my thoughts and expectations purely depend on what they do with these offseason moves and or the development of our young players. Now, hopefully, the past 4 years that he's had with Robert Saleh, have helped him out. Like to my understanding, I believe he called plays all 4 years. I think the last year where the defense declined is where he assumed the interim head coach responsibilities, and I'm assuming that he delegated the play calling responsibilities to someone else. So, but I mean, the defenses that he's called, given the first year they were ranked like 32. Then the following 2 years, they were ranked like third and sixth, respectively. So he's put together some quality defenses, but these defenses are reliant heavily on like the front four, um, which isn't really our strength. He doesn't like to blitz a lot, so I'm going to be interested to see how he utilizes Caden Ellis, who's probably at his best when he's on the line as a blitzing threat. Um, Given I hope he's adaptable in that approach and he's willing to do that. But just based off the past 4 years, given it may have been like Salah's preference that he didn't blitz and stuff like that. So um, I'm open to seeing what's going to happen. I'm not going to be negative. I'm not going to be overly optimistic. I say that now, but knowing me, I know I'm going to talk myself into liking it soon as the all season moves
So
start.
I've had some time to sit and digest on it. Couple takeaways that I had. One, yes, same thing. He does not like the blitz, right? How do you generate pressure from a front four who has routinely not generated pressure outside of Grady Jarrett? But Grady doesn't. Grady generates a good bit of pressures. I won't take that away from him. But like his sack total hasn't necessarily been double digits. I want to say, yeah, I don't think he's ever really got it.
Ever.
Yeah. So, but he does generate a lot of pressures, right? Like I'm not going
Career
to
high
take
is
that away
8.
from him. Um,
But
are you going back to a 4-3? Are you going to have Zach Harrison down there? Are you going to be extremely undersized and put Caden Ellis on the line? Well, in third down situations,
nah,
obvious passing situations, you may,
I don't see
but
it. Even then, I think they like him more on the inside because they rarely put him just line up
and
outside
he
to
can
say
make
go
a
beat
move,
someone.
use
I
his
think they like to
athleticism.
match it more on guards who have shorter arms.
What do you do with Judon? You gave up a third for him. You know what I'm saying? And
Third
because he doesn't necessarily,
might be in
in
that
my
loss.
mind, fit a 4-3.
He can. He has the size
But
for
he's
it.
played primarily in
He's
3-4s
what
his whole
six
career.
three 260 270. He could play in a 4-3 just because he
And
has. Don't mean he can't. Like he
so I'm
has the chops to
interested to
do it.
see,
Like
like, do
I
you
like him more
re-sign
as a
him? What
defensive
does
end than
that
a
money look
linebacker.
like? I think for him, you're going to. I think that's going to be a real contentious negotiation, trying to get him back with the scheme change, and also feeling like what draft compensation, and then that's another thing you got to put into place. We don't have a lot of draft capital at the current moment. I know everybody thinks, oh, we'll be able to maneuver, move stuff around, this and that, blah, blah, blah. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Cool. As of right now, today, we don't have a great deal of draft capital to make a big move for anybody on the edge or anybody interior. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. Grady's getting up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have some cap dollars. I'll get into my thing on that a little later. We have some cap dollars and can make a few moves, but I'm very interested to see how exactly this defense gets shaped because those corners are on islands a good bit of times in this defense. AJ definitely has the chops for it. I actually think, and I think you'll agree with me on this, I think Clark could benefit in this defense if they had a decent pass rush.
Mm-mm. He probably could, but I think Clark's a depth guy. Um, they're definitely going to look to upgrade the position, whether it be looking at someone. They probably want someone at least at a Mike Hughes level, someone who could comfortably play main end zone, because his
Yeah, and
defenses employ a
so
lot
when
of
I
cover
when I
three,
think
cover
of
one,
these
and
type of
some
defenses,
quarters,
right?
which is cover four.
Obviously,
Um,
Sauce Gardner, Richard Sherman, but you don't just overly find those type of dudes, right?
I mean, but it's not even an island thing because it's just basically just like just don't get beat deep. But given that we're probably going to see an uptick in quarters, I expect to see like Jesse Bates had a good year, great year. The NFL probably didn't seem to think so because with the lack of All Pro nod this year that I think he deserves, but um, Jesse Bates is best utilized in a quarters system. Uh, you there? Okay. Technical difficulties, people. Just bear with us a moment while we get Q back. I'm not really sure what happened.
Yup.
Okay, and welcome back to the show.
Technical difficulties, you guys. My
Yeah,
fault. My fault.
he's back, fellas.
So
Ladies and
Jesse
gentlemen, he's
Bates.
back. Yeah, so Jesse Bates, I think he could be very utilized greatly in this scheme on the back end at least. But based off needs, I do like I like Clark, but I think Clark's gonna be a depth guy. Um, unless he comes up with a strong off season, works on the things that he was lacking. Um, I probably see us going after a corner, but I mean, that's probably on the back end. The most important thing is we have to get a dominant edge guy, whether it be like a Khalil Mack through free agency, hitting on something in the draft, um, or any combination of the two. Like, there's got to be investment because those Jets defenses had dogs on the line, and that's what we don't have. So Terry has to attack that with intent. Like he has to. Um, and then the other thing, we're going to need another linebacker. Um, like it's probably no surprise to y'all. I'm not the big Lamon fan. Um,
You don't say. You don't say.
yeah. um, he's fine if we were playing in the 1980s, but we need a linebacker with a little more athletic chops. Um,
And Troy,
I still believe in Troy, but Troy he he hasn't shown me he can stay on the field yet. I believe he can, but I mean, until he does it, it's uh, just a belief, just a fairy tale.
no, and that sucks because like when he's out there, you can clearly see that he's making an impact, right? Like you can
Yeah, I
clearly
mean,
see
yeah,
the defense looks different with him on the field. He has the speed, he can cover, and that's a
yeah.
huge part. Now, I will say, like philosophically, you kind of see football going back to a lot of the like heavy run concepts. It's not like they extremely got away from it, but like there's been an uptick of run based offenses.
Well, I'll say it this way: the only reason that we're really seeing it is because you're seeing because the NFL is a very reactionary game, right? So the past few years, offenses have been like really trying to attack defenses down the field vertically. So to counteract that, these defenses have been trying to keep two safeties up top. So what does that do? It keeps 8 people out of the box. Like you won't have 8-man boxes. So naturally, if you got the numbers, you're going to run the ball.
Every
I think
time.
it's more so. I think it's more so of a numbers game than the NFL just doing those things. Now, the good teams are able to stop the run without bringing the safety down. Um,
We have not
then,
consistently shown that because I think what was it, 3 games this year? Jesse Bates led the team in tackles.
well, that doesn't really that doesn't really lean to that because like you can still show a two safety look and the safety make a tackle. Like so, I'm not really gonna go that direction with it. It's just more so because sometimes Jesse's the best tackler. Um, or just yeah, like I have to go back and look more at these Jets defenses and to see like were they heavy on disguises and stuff like that. I feel like they were pretty straight up. I just think they just defense. They just had guys. Um, you
I
know.
think the Jets didn't have what I would like to call junk defenses, like where they're really, really heavily based on confusing the quarterback, right? Or really about tricking and throwing you into like throwing coverages at you to where you saw us get Jaden on it, right? Where Caden Ellis lined up against the
Mhm.
guard, came one play, backed out the next. Jaden threw it right to him, right? But that's just like a young quarterback getting confused. I'm not saying that's a junk defense. I'm just saying like that defense was predisposed to trick a quarterback into throwing into that area, right? Like
Mm.
when that is your whole playbook, what was Buddy in Green Bay? Dom was it Dom Capers? I wouldn't say that was a junk defense, but his defense was predisposed to try to trick you, right? Like that was a great deal of his playbook. And I wouldn't say the Jets defenses are like that. The Jets defenses are way more designed on we're going to pressure you up front. Our linebackers, one linebacker is usually going to be a run fit, the other two are going to drop. And then try to beat us. Try to beat us with the corners and safeties we got. And if I'm not mistaken, it's not like they have all world safeties.
The safeties were. I don't think they had like good safety play. It was they had good corners. Safeties I can't think of. So a player like Jesse can change the way your coverages. Cause like sometimes you can't do certain coverages because you know what guys you got. Jesse Bates is one of the guys that could do a lot, so you can get a little more creative on the back end.
I think something that we did consistently is put Jesse and AJ same side. Um, I think early in the year I was frustrated by it because I thought they were both very good in coverage. Why not split them up and take away different parts of the field? But I think they did kind of play off each other very well. Jesse is gamblers maybe too strong a term, but like
No,
he
he's a
does,
gambler. No, he's a gambler.
he does like
That's
he likes to play it fast and loose a little, right?
no,
And
no.
like AJ will cover
No.
up some of those deficiencies, and I enjoy it.
Yeah,
So
like
maybe those guys who hold a clipboard for a living know a little bit more about football than I do, just a little bit.
yeah, yeah. To say gambler might be a strong term is a understatement. Jesse is a he's a misogynist when it comes to playing safety. He is not a woman man.
Like, nah. He Roman. You understand? Rolling
Yeah,
Stone. So I think that leads into, and you guys, my video's out. You know, too much red tube on the computer. You know how it is. I'm kidding. I'm not a gooner.
busy
No, I'm not a gooner like that, bro. Like, plus,
like that.
hey, yeah. Plus, you got a phone. You don't need all that. No, I'm kidding. Yo, all right, look, I'm really gonna have people thinking. No. Yeah, video's just out. But one of the points I brought it up in the last video. I went back, looked at it. When me and you talked early in the season, right? We said, hey, if Penix plays this year, people might be fired, right? Like Penix should not be playing this year because we gave Kirk all this money, blah, et cetera, right? That leads into kind of the thinking of what I'm about to soft launch here. And I think this will shape a lot of my thinking for the offseason, whether you agree or not, because we talked about it, but this will shape my thinking for the offseason. I don't believe that this job is as secure for Raheem as most people would want it to be or believe it to be. My reasoning behind that. As a GM, in the NFL, it is almost unheard of outside of like retirement. You get to hire 3 coaches. That is like, that almost never happens, right? Penix legit looks like a star. He legit looks like somebody
We ain't gonna say a star yet, but there's promise.
Promising talent. You're somebody I want to build around, right? If I get rid of everybody, I know I got you. Bijan, legit star. Bijan's a legit star. London, talented. Very, very talented. I wouldn't go star yet, but very, very talented.
No,
Right?
I would say he's a star.
It's your first year over 1,000 yards. I wouldn't really
He's a,
call.
I mean, fourth in the NFL in yards. I'm just saying.
I don't know because like
I mean, to me, it's not a coincidence that the first year he gets halfway decent quarterback play, he goes off.
no, I don't disagree with you, but me and you are real tapped in on watching every game, knowing the team. I wouldn't call him like an Eagles fan knows Bijan. I don't know if a Steelers fan truly knows Drake London. You know what I'm
They
saying?
do, they do because Drake London's entering top 10 talks. He's like I've been seeing it. Drake London's been in a lot of top 10 lists this year.
And hey, look, I wanna. That's me thing. Then I want to see it again for another year. But considering I think he has a lot of
No,
promise.
Drake London's a star. Bijan's a superstar.
I give you that because like Bijan is getting up there with like Justin Jefferson, like type of notoriety in the teams. But like,
He's a household name. Like B's, you know you're good when you're on a first name basis.
yeah, Bijan, yeah, exact. Jetta's Bijan, like you know him from first name. So, but the point I was gonna get to is the fact that like you have these building blocks on the offense. I I think the offense is going to be straight this year. I think Zach Robinson took his lumps last year. I think a point that you brought out, and I think was repeated and shown out, especially over those last 4 games. Zach Robinson had an offense he wanted to call, and Kurt just couldn't execute it to the highest regard once he started to go into the tank. Right? Cool. With that being the case, I think the offense is going to do well this year. If the defense lets us down, right? And the reason I would believe that the defense will let us down would be one, personnel, or two, if you remember what I said about the Jets defense, which played out this year to an extent, especially down the stretch, they were not built to match the offense that they wanted to play. Not that they were a bad defense. That defense just was not built to match the offense they wanted to play. The offense they were calling to play, right?
See, this is where I'm going to push back on that a little bit because like the construction of these teams are different. The Jets team was built on the back of the defense. Ours is built on our offense. So we're not asking the defense to carry the load like the Jets were. We're asking the defense just not to fuck it up.
No. Okay, so and we had this conversation. Remember, we had this conversation on ATL. You think 99% of the NFL populace believes the Jets team was supposed to be carried by their defense. The people within the Jets organization felt like that Jets team was supposed to be carried by their offense. And that led to them calling offensive series that didn't keep their defensive strengths in mind. And they were playing bad complementary football. But
you got to do like Aaron Rodgers. You're gonna put it on the shoulders. That's why you went and got him.
Which is and that's the point I was trying to get to is that we are currently constructed to where our offense in 99% of the NFL, and I believe the people in the building understand that our offense is our calling card, right? So when we look at the foundation of this defense, how it's going to be built, are we going to focus on Peyton Manning and Dwight Freeney was a match made in heaven? Why? Because like Peyton was going to put up a bunch of points and Dwight could rush the passer. Dwight, he wasn't a liability in the run, but like when they got into those closer games, you were able to bleed the clock a bit because until they got Robert Mathis. You know what I'm saying?
Even then, you still had to because Robert Mathis was the same thing. It's just like that coach team. They built their team like we're a front running team, so we just need pass rushers. We'll forego everything. If they can stop us from scoring, then we're probably fucked. But I mean, every team in this league has a weakness. Like Kansas City, it's the refs.
Bro, I'm not gonna let you do that. I'm not gonna let you do that, bro. Like, it was 2 bad calls. Other than that, like it was clean, bro.
Hey, I kid, maybe, but you know, like the Houston Texans, their O line, maybe play calling. Uh, the Ravens, not catching key passes.
Timeout. Like, cause this ain't even ATL. This ain't ATL at all. We not gonna get too far away from the Falcons. Mark Andrews had money on the fucking Bills. Like, yeah, I'm not trying to get demonetized. Mark Andrews had money on the Bills, dog. Bruh. There's no way. And y'all see me getting this passionate about it because, like, one, I hate the Lamar slander, bro. I hate the Lamar slander. Lamar is the second best quarterback in the league by every measurable statistic that you have. And people consistently shit on this man's name. You know what I'm saying? Putting people like, now, I'm not going to cap. I did put Burrow ahead of him. And had Burrow made it in, I probably would have still been comfortable putting him ahead of him. I'm not comfortable putting Josh ahead of him, especially after that game, because, like, Josh didn't win that game. Mark Andrews lost it, bro. Like, is very frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. But I digress. Lamar is still like, and then the discourse around him is crazy work. I saw a man with a straight face say he made that pass as hard as possible for Mark Andrews.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Chris Sims. Yeah.
He put it between the 8 and the 9. Where else? You act like it was a shoestring catch.
Yeah, he just had to bend down a little bit, like,
bruh. So that was irritating. That was irritating.
Yeah, for sure.
But regardless, we gonna get off that. We gonna get off.
But yeah, every team has their weaknesses, though.
But
whatever.
Can we stay there? Can we stay there for 2 seconds? Not about that game or anything, just the Ravens in general, right? Mm-hmm. So, Ravens had a super dominant offense last season, or a super dominant defense last season, right? Buddy goes to Seattle. They get a new defensive coordinator. If you look through like the first 6 or 7 weeks of the season, boy, they was giving it up like a drunk cheerleader on prom night. It was bad. Yards, points, everything, right? The Ravens offense, if you look at their offensive identity throughout the year, became extremely, extremely run-based, play-action oriented. They didn't get too far away from Lamar designed runs, but like Rashad Bateman became like just the automatic deep threat, right? They focused on a bit more shock plays. And then what happened to their defense? Their defense like rounded into form because their offense started playing complementary to it, right? That's just the point I was trying to get about Ulbrich'd. And that's what I want to see in how that's what I want to see in how we shape the team, shape the defense. How is our defense going to complement our offense? What kind of signings actually do that? Are we going to be a heavy run-based type of defense? Like, are we going to be a defense just built to completely stop the run?
Probably not. Even though those Jets defenses were good, but they got after the passer. What I'm expecting is them to prioritize the pass rush because I think they're going to try to have a laser show next year on offense. Talking about like New Year's Day, July 4th, it's going to be fireworks every Sunday down in the bench or wherever Michael Penix is going. So if they're going to try to be a front-running team, because I believe we all believe the offense is the stronger side of this team. So if you believe in the offense can score points, like, period. So I think that will lead me to think that they just want a defense that can, get teams in passing situations and go get the quarterback. So I think we're going to go after more pass rush, but we will need to have run stoppers on the team to put teams into these passing downs.
And so that's where I was thinking I think that we highly prioritize bigger D tackles, not pass rushing ones.
I don't. You don't necessarily think you need bigger. I think you need disruptive D tackles. Um, yeah, I think you probably just need more disruptiveness. Like Rook. I think Rook playing in a scheme to where like because like going from 3-4 to 4-3, the responsibilities change.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, when you're in the 3-4, everything's about keeping everyone off the linebackers. When you're in a 4-3, you're able to actually get after the quarterback and make some plays. So I I think that us switching back to a 4-3 is more beneficial to Rook. Um, I also think it's very beneficial to Brandon Dorless, who we should see take a big step this upcoming year. Um, I expect a Zach Harrison to slim back down because he had picked up weight to move in to play that five taking the 3-4, but now he's going to be probably playing more of a true edge, maybe a six or uh Y9. Probably not Y9, but probably just straight up on the tackle right outside. Um, so I expect him to slim back down, drop back down to like that 270 that we drafted him at. So
The name you haven't said, I think, is the biggest in the room and the most concerning to a lot of fans because he does look like the perfect candidate for a cap casualty.
well, I mean, I'm just talking about the young guys right now. I'm not talking about Grady Jarrett. I do believe Grady Jarrett has a place on this team. But I could like these teams, you need a rotation of guys.
No, you absolutely
Um,
do. I would.
um,
I'm gonna go ahead and say it now. From from a purely financial cap perspective, team building perspective, and the ability to obtain draft picks, cutting or trading Grady Jarrett is the smart quote unquote business way to do things. For
I
your
don't think they do that.
for your fans, for people who want to see the team, I want to see Jerry. I want to see Grady on the team next year.
I don't even think it has to do with the team. I think for the locker room, they're going to keep Grady. With my money is that they extend him on something that lowers the cap hunt because he knows he's not going to get that top dollar. He wants to be here though. So I expect them to maybe give him like a 1 or 2 year extension, something that'll lower the cap, his cap. Because I think his cap is like what, almost 20 million or something like that.
Is so right now it's 19.5.
Yeah.
If you give him 2 years and like 28 mil, I think it is, you could lower it all the way to 14. And
Well,
that
you could
last
probably
year's
you could lower it way more than that, just depending on how you want to structure it. You you
well,
could you could really just kind of just add on some funny years and just like we'll just do year by year and see how it goes.
basically if you give him that 2 year extension lower to 14, that last year is basically a cut year. So you're guaranteeing them this year and next year.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, it is all depends on how much new money they want to add to it. Because Grady, because because the thing is, Grady has no guarantee money left. So
No, so that's what I'm saying. If he goes ahead and signs an extension, you're basically giving him 14 in real cash this
yeah, that's
year.
what I'm saying. Like you can just because the thing is, you could finagle that any way you want to.
Yeah, but I mean, Grady's not signing no 65 million dollar deal anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Here
No,
or
he's not.
else.
That's what I'm saying. So you can get him that you can get him for a very reasonable deal. Um,
I think everything that I looked at said 13 to 17. I feel like 14 is reasonable.
probably around there. But the person I do expect to get cut is Anyamata. Um, yeah, because I mean Anyamata's like either Grady's age or a little bit older, and he didn't have that good of a year.
And we've drafted over him multiple times now.
Yeah, so yeah, so I could see him going because I still think they want a vet in that room. Um, so I don't really see a point in cutting Grady just to go get another veteran body that would cost you something when Grady still gives you good production. Just extend him. He wants to be here. They want him here. They'll work it out.
We need to get to start a new league year so that we can see what the true list of free agents
But
are, and then
one thing we need to see is how much the cap's going up.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, most players proration has that cap been
Well,
enough?
I'm not even talking about the proration. I'm just talking about like sometimes it jumps higher than you would think. Like last year, it jumped more than people thought. Um, but on offense, we may have a pretty decent sized hole to fill on offense. With Chris Dorman, Drew Dorman. All right, forgive me, Drew Dorman. I don't think they're gonna resign him.
So we got, hey man, Chris isn't up for 2 years, is he?
No, I mean Drew Dorman.
No, but I'm thinking Chris isn't up for 2 more years.
Maybe I'm not sure, but
But I know his contract is going to be a monster because he's had an all pro
but
season. He's
he's already
had
got a monster contract. But we talk about Drew right now. Like, what about Drew, the guy that's a free agent?
no. I'm thinking off the top of my head. If you're like from a team building perspective, it makes a lot of sense to just restart the clock there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't think we're going to resign him
Yeah,
because we have two good guards,
but
Lynch and Bergeron. It's easier to find probably just some young guy and just throw him out there or get like a free agent that's cheaper. We don't need top of the market at the position, especially because the offense didn't really drop off when he was out.
yeah, but can you afford to go young guy there? And what do you think Drew would be
I
asking for?
mean, you can just go get it. Right now he's the top center in the free agency class, so he's going to get probably 10 to 12 mil.
That's what I was thinking. 12 is top of market for a center
Yeah, and I don't know if they are going to do that.
because they
If
have
they
to
do,
be. So what you looking at? You looking at 4 for 48 type thing?
yeah, something like that. And I don't know if they want to do that. They could, but I mean, center is it's a relatively easy position to replace. Especially when you have Chris Lindstrom by you, like is because like when Chris Lindstrom was when Drew Dumbo was out, I didn't notice any drop off in the way the O line performed.
Mm-hmm.
So that just leads me to think, and I'm pretty sure they noticed that. Like, when he went down, like it didn't really stop us from doing what we needed to do. So do we really need to pay him 10 to 12 million a year? Probably
Mm-hmm.
not. Let him go and hope for a compensatory pick that we just don't never seem to get.
Well, depending on compensatories are just based
I mean,
upon
it depends on what we bring back. I understand that, but
yeah.
you know, I don't even know what we're bringing back. But I mean, if that's what I said, hope. Like,
Do we have a replacement on roster? Can't think of it off the top of my head.
Noozle, I believe, unless he's a free agent too. But I think Noozle, the dude who filled in for him.
But I think one of the things me and you had discussed along the line that we probably need to start looking at is, Jake Matthews is getting kind of up there.
He's only 33. Tackles played till about like tackles played a long time, like, and he ain't had no drop off. So I'm not really worried about a Jake Matthews replacement right now. That's not a priority to me.
If we had that space, I don't know. Like I wouldn't.
This isn't the year for it. We
No,
have
no,
too
no.
many needs on
I'm
defense.
back to Drew. I wouldn't say that signing him would be a bad move,
It
right?
wouldn't be a bad move, but it's not. I don't think it's necessary.
And I'm not gonna lie. We have now got to become incredibly cap conscious, right? Like real money, they have it to spend, right? But like we have to be cap conscious because we've made the decision to pivot. It's the right decision. I agree with it, right? But like we're gonna eat a good bit of Kirk's contract, and we still do have a rookie contract that we want to benefit from. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't. The benefit was gone the minute you signed Kirk. Like you at this point, you might get a year to benefit from it, maybe, and that won't be until what 2026, 2027.
2027, because you'll re-sign Penix at the end of 26, roll his money over. If he plays good, you'll sign.
You can't. I don't. You can't re-sign him at the end of 26. You have to complete 3 years.
Yeah.
I don't. Well, man, you. I don't. You could, but I don't know. I don't know if you do it after the 3rd year.
I mean, that's where most guys got theirs.
only a couple. Like Jalen Hurts is probably the last one I could think of, and like maybe Trevor Lawrence, I think.
Yeah, most guys got theirs after the third year.
Like a Burrow got his after 4, I think.
Yeah, because he was hurt his first year.
Yeah, he sure. I mean, he made a Super Bowl on it. He could have got it the third year. That's an excuse.
And the Bengals are notoriously bad for how they manage those situations. Jamar Chase still ain't been paid.
Yeah, and they're putting themselves in a very precarious situation because Jamar Chase wants to get paid this year. T. Higgins wants to get. Well, T. Higgins has to get paid by somebody this year.
Oh yeah, T. Higgins gone, bro. T. gone.
Then on defense, they got Trey Henderson. What did they do with him?
Who's getting old? So like, I can understand if you didn't want to re-sign Trey Henderson. He's your best defensive player, though.
Yeah,
like,
the league in sacks.
Just let him walk. Like,
so it's a very interesting situation over there. As well as the one in Dallas, because they kind of had funny money situations, and then them not being able to get an ideal coach because people aren't exactly getting to be Jerry's yes man.
I think this is a whole shovel of blood for Kellen Moore to take that job. Like, we know what's going to end there, bro.
It's just a 1-year thing because they're talking about Deion. Deion's not taking any job where he can't coach his son. I remember somebody was like, well, he ain't going to coach him anywhere in Colorado. Yeah, but he won't have to coach against him either.
Yeah, and what is that, Oakland? Or not Oakland, Las Vegas?
Vegas has flat out said no.
I don't think that's what I'm saying. Like they're not taking that full responsibility. You look at the Giants. I don't think he wants him to go to the Giants. And the Giants, like, let's be real about it.
He said
the Giants usually don't have starting quarterbacks.
No, but one team for sure he don't want him to go to Cleveland. He said there's a couple things he don't want him to go to Cleveland. I don't think he has an issue with the Giants, but the Cleveland because they never had like the quarterback. It's a quarterback graveyard. So he don't want his son to go in there, for sure. The Giants, I thought that at first, but then he said, I never said that.
The Giants have had have been poorly managed for a minute now. And people just like, because it's a big city in this New York, like, and they make the playoffs once every 5 years and get washed, people be like, it's a decent team or whatnot. But hell, bringing it back to the Falcons, if somebody really like put feet to fire and was like, the Falcons are a poorly managed team, I wouldn't. It'd be hard to rebuttal you when in the past 7 years we haven't made the playoffs and our highest win total has been 8.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So I keep that energy all the way around. I'm not playing favorites with it. Like, the Giants are a poorly managed team. And so, like, and to an extent we are too, which leads me circling all the way back around. The take and the lens that I'm going to view the offseason as is that black coaches, and I'm not trying to be like, racial bait or whatever, but it's just a fact. Black coaches have notoriously short leashes, right? Black general managers have had short leashes, but I feel like Terry's gotten a decent one.
Yeah, he's had. Like,
Terry's gone through 4 quarterbacks. 5 if you really count Heineke, but like it's
6.
Well, I got Ryan,
Mariota,
Hinkie,
Ritter, Heineke, Kirk, Penix.
There it goes. Yeah. Like, you usually don't get that many chances as a GM, right? And like, everybody will be like, "Oh, Matt was on his last leg," right? Cool.
They mostly piss Matt off. That's the reason there, but
yeah, that's the real reason. But hey, Matt was on his last leg. You were trying to secure the future. He wanted to go elsewhere. Cool. You got left holding the bag. It happens. You signed Mariota as a bridge. You knew he was a bridge. You signed Ritter or you drafted Ritter that year. You knew Mariota wasn't the guy, so no one holds that against you. Ritter, you managed that season. However, I think, and me and you started the pod that year, and I think both of us were like, why isn't he starting like week 6 or 7. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. Cool. You go Ritter and Heineke back and forth, and that was just as much Arthur Smith's fault as it was yours. That Kirk one, it looks like you made the right pick with Penix, which will let a lot of things be forgiven. But like a bad offseason, a bad defensive showing, really being leveraged on our picks right now because of the tampering and then the Judon trade, especially if you don't re-sign Judon, could lead Terry to getting fired. And if Terry gets fired and a new GM comes in and our offense does show well, I really worry for Raheem's job. Now, I know you know, because you said, nah, if the offense shows well, he's good. I wouldn't be surprised if they want a full reset after letting Terry go.
I think Raheem got a decent leash ahead of him. Because one thing about Raheem is, and I'm respecting this, he does not seem like he's like super prideful, like, oh, he's beyond reproach or whatever. Like, oh, I know everything. Like, you know, he came in last season with this energy, and this year, the end of the season, he got humbled. And I think he needed that. Because I can't speak for you, but I didn't expect Jimmy Lake to get fired. I thought he was going to run it back with him. It takes balls to do that. We were wrong. Good coaches make those type of decisions. All right, yeah, didn't work. He fired Jimmy Lake, and he got rid of Jay Rogers. He identified weaknesses and he acted on it. He's also come out and said, I am working on the clock management so we don't repeat those mistakes. He's seeing things, he's addressing things, and he's attacking them. Those are signs of a competent coach. I think he's going to be fine. Terry, because as a general manager, it kind of sucks because, like, it's easy to blame Terry. Oh, he hasn't done this, but you got to realize the man has drafted for 4 different defensive coordinators. It's kind of hard. Well, at least, yeah, this is going to be his 4th defensive coordinator he's drafting for on defense. Because he's hit on offense. Whether y'all want to agree or not, Kyle Pitts is still a hit. He had a Pro Bowl in his rookie year. That's a hit. Well, maybe not a grand slam, but that's a solid pick.
He got on base. He got on base with that one.
He got a bit, yeah. Drake London, that's a hit. Bijan, grand slam, damn near.
Yeah.
He hit the ball. We're waiting to see where it lands. What's it called? Drew Damo was one of his picks. That was a good pick.
And I know you don't give credit for this. I give credit for re-signing the right people.
I don't give you credit for re-signing a good player.
Bergeron was but I mean, we shit on GMs that let good players go. Everybody shit on the Giants GM. Everybody shit on the Giants GM, Doug.
But I'm not giving you. Yeah, you get shit on when you let go of that player, but I'm not gonna give you credit for keeping one.
I don't know. Like I do. I give credit for like identifying talent on your team. Make sure you retain that.
But you don't gotta identify it. It's like, damn, he didn't need no one to tell him. Oh, damn, that guy's pretty good. It's obvious. Like, damn, should I re-sign AJ Terrell? I mean, he's only been like a top half corner his whole career for the most part. I don't know. Fuck it, y'all. I'm not giving you credit for that. I can give you credit for how you structure a contract, but I can't give you credit for offering the contract. No. I give you credit for going out and getting Jesse Bates. I give you credit for going out and getting Kate Ellis. Like I give you credit for those for free agents, but for retaining your guys, I can't give you much credit for if they performed.
And hey, look, we differ there. The other pieces we definitely agree on, right? Like, and you drafted Bergeron, you re-signed the other 3 linemen. You drafted 2 spots, and you identified when you made a mistake. Like you drafted Mayfield, you was like, hey,
let him go.
Wasn't it? Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, you definitely hit on the offense. You drafted an offense to Arthur Smith's exact specifications. He just like really had trouble calling plays.
Yeah.
and you had a bad quarterback. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Raheem comes in. And I don't want to keep relitigating this, but I need people to understand. And I think it becomes so much clearer now that these playoffs are unfolding the way they are. Jaden was the number one player on a lot of people's boards, including ours. Like, he wasn't making it past 2. But if Jaden had made it to 8, they would have done the exact same thing, right? But, like, Penix was the second quarterback on the board, the 4th overall player. You don't pass on that. Because you could be the Commanders. You could be the line. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't pass on that. So, yeah, we're going to pick him. I don't care if I just gave Kirk $100 million, bro. I did not know he was going to be here. If I knew that, like, you want to know what one of the dumbest conversations I had was talking to a Commanders fan, right? And they were like, oh, you know, that would have been like if we went out and gave Sam Darnold $100 million. I said, no, it's not the same at all, because everybody named Mama knew Caleb was going 1. The Bears made that totally and wholly clear, which means you have the full gambit and selection of every other player in the draft, including quarterbacks. The only people who truly had a full slew of every other player in position were the Bears, the Commanders, and the Patriots. The draft started at 4. You know what I'm saying? And we said that multiple times. The draft really started at 4. With that being the case, you cannot predict how the 3 teams in front of you were. You can have thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
You have the thoughts, yeah.
But you can't say, yeah, Joe Alt is going here. Malik Neighbors is going there. The Giants very well could have picked a quarterback last year.
They could have. I think they might be regret that they didn't.
Yeah, because Malik is already starting to show diva qualities, and I'm like, you're good, but bro, like, can we be a multiple-time Pro Bowler? Maybe. Can we be top 3? Was he top 6 in receiving this year?
Top 6.
I think he was. I think he was 6th.
I mean, he had over 1,000. He had 100 catches. Like, he had a damn good year.
Yeah, and he missed like, was it 3 games?
Yeah, 2 to 3, something like that.
Yeah, so I mean, hey, you're good. I'm not gonna take that away from you. Right now, is your volume because you absolutely have no other offensive weapons on that team? Maybe, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there, right? Like, you know, Marvin Harrison went 4. Yeah, the Cardinals probably weren't going to pick a quarterback, but like, you can't, you don't know, right? Penix is there. He's the highest rated player you still have left. You're taking him every single time.
Yeah.
And so, like, with that being the case, I can't like say Terry hadn't been doing his job, right?
I'm not saying he ain't doing his job. He's been doing fine, but like, the offense, he's majority of the offensive picks he's hit. He's had a few misses, but every GM does. No GM bats 100. Like,
but I think the point that you brought out was the most important point that a lot of people do not give time or grace for, is the fact that he has now drafted for 4 different defensive coordinators.
Yeah, because this is his 4th one. Because his first 2 years was Dean Pease. Then he had what's his name?
That went to Jacksonville.
Nielsen. Then he had Jimmy Lake, which is 3rd, and now Ulbrich'd, who was the 4th coordinator he had to draft for. So he's had to draft for 4 different defenses in 5 years.
2 of them were scheme changes, back and forth.
Yeah. Well, 3.
Dean Pease was a 3-4. Then we went to 4-3.
4-3. Then back to 3-4.
Back to 3-4. Now we're going back to 4-3. Like, bro, come on now.
Yeah. So it's kind of hard when you, like, when you've had the past, like, this is our in the past 3 years. This is our 3rd defensive coordinator in 3 years. Like, it's kind of hard to draft for different schemes, because like, you just drafted for the current scheme and then they change it. So like, that affects a young player when, like, Like you constantly have to learn something new. Like because the run fits from a 4-3 to a 3-4 are not the same.
And you want to know what I think it really affects is you're now forced to really fill holes through free agency instead of like what am I trying
Yeah,
to say right now? Like
no, because you need vets that's been in the league that know these defenses, which is why you see a lot of the quote unquote, oh, he's signing because he knows the defense. Yeah, because the rookies are having to constant change, so you need stabilizing forces.
exactly. Like I have a young guy who I spent all last year investing into in this way. And like, hey, scratch all of that. And you may have been playing a 3-4 in college. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I drafted you because you were a great fit to this defense. Now I'm about to take you and play a
Yeah,
defense that you maybe haven't played ever or since high school. You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Because like when I look at it like this, like I'm going to use Arnold Ebiketie for an example, right? The past what 2 to 3 years, right? He's come on hot in the second half of the season. Why do you think that is? Because that's when he finally got comfortable in the defense.
Both defenses.
Because both of them defenses were new. His rookie year, he came into Dean Pease. Second year, they changed it. Oh, damn, okay, 4-3. So Nielsen likes bigger edges, so he was like, oh, we're just going to push you onto a DPR. But
I was about
yeah,
to say
second
he
half of the
really didn't
season,
get no burn like that.
yeah. So, but he still ended up with he still was like 6 sacks. He's
Mhm.
by far our best pass rusher. But if he having to constantly learn different schemes, he's not comfortable in the defense. But I don't think it's a coincidence that in the second half of all of these seasons is when he hits a streak. To people, because people are like, oh, he's only getting hot. Well, yeah, because he's just not getting comfortable in the defense. He's now learning the responsibility, learning where everyone's supposed to be at. Like it's difficult to learn these things, especially when like there's a lot of turnover. Like,
Like
because
people think rushing is just go get the quarterback. Like, bro, you take the wrong gap, you do the wrong move. Like, there are
yeah,
defenses specifically designed for me to rush outside. And
yeah.
if I take a spin move inside, I'm completely collapsing the defense and creating a lane for the quarterback to
Yeah.
run through and make a pass.
See that reminds me because I seen Cam Jordan, right? He was talking about how sacks can be well. He said sacks are overrated stat. When he went into the line, it makes sense because some players will completely ignore their responsibilities just to get the sack.
Hmm.
Like they'll look all the way around and leave a big ass rush lane for a quarterback to take off. It can be 3rd and 12, right? You got everything lined up. Oh, I'm about to get him, and then the dude runs too wide trying to chase that sack instead of doing his job, playing football, playing it down. So because he's on this one, you leave a big lane. That 3rd and 12 not because either 4th and 1 or first down. It's the simple things. Like so, we need players to do those things, but it's kind of hard to even learn those type of things when you're constantly changing schemes. This is
Yeah.
Ebiketie's. Arnold Ebiketie's going to his 4th year in the NFL, and this is the 4th year as the coordinator. And he's literally went from 3-4, 4-3, 3-4 back to 4-3. Like the run fits are different. It's tough, and it's not like he's staying in similar schemes when he goes back to the 3-4 because the philosophies are different in each one. So it's rough. But like, so just to put that on the player, like, when you look at Terry, it's rough for him because he's like, well, I drafted this guy because whenever you draft a player, you're drafting them with the envision of that rookie contract. So you have to like, all right, 9 times out of 10 when you draft someone, they're not going to be who's there. It's very rare that they're that guy in year one. So you're drafting them with the expectation of like, what do they look like in 3 to 4 years? It's kind of hard to foresee that when you're changing schemes back and forth.
Now, because like, look, if I'm in the GM's head, and we'll get out on this one, but if I'm in the GM's head, right, and I have someone like Arnold Ebiketie, year one, I may expect rotational limited production. Year two, I'm expecting you to be a rotational starter. Year three, I expect you to be a starter. Year four, we're really going to be chopping out what this extension looks like because I expect you to be a hit, right? You almost have to reset that clock every time you switch a defense. Now he's in his 4th year. What is his mind state and his mind frame on making impact plays? Is he going to be that guy who loops all the way around because he's like, bro, this is a contract year for me? You know what I'm saying? Like he has 6 sacks his 2nd year. I think he had He had 5 last year or 4?
Um, I think he had 6. Man, let me. Arnold Abichetti, he had so his rookie year he had 2.5. Then he had 6 last year and 6 this year.
Yeah. So like he's coming on. Am I going to be somebody that? Am I okay with 6 again? Probably. That'll get you a decent amount of money, right?
I think 6 gets you a contract. It won't get you it'll be like a middle market guy.
Yeah, it'll be 12 to 16. Maybe a little less than that. 8 to
Probably
8 to 12.
probably 8 to 12. Yeah.
8 to 12. 8 to 12, right? That's good money. 8 to 12 over 2 years, right? 16 to 24 mil, that's not bad money. But like I gotta get that. And I gotta get that in 4.3. Is it gonna be the same 4.3 that we were running where I produced in 6X a couple years ago?
Now, the one thing I can say is that differs from like this 4.3 differs from the Nielsen 4.3 in the fact that they don't rely on big ends like because the Jets took Will McDonald who's like what 6'3", 240.
Mm-hmm.
You had Hassan Reddick 6'1", 240. These aren't big ends. Evan Katie's about 6'3", about what 255, 260.
But their D
Like,
tackles play the run very, very well, and that's
well, they had a Quentin Williams.
yeah.
There's not a lot of Quentin Williams. Given this draft is very deep in the positions that we need. So I like because there are a lot of people like watching like even going back to the Rams Philly game this week, right? They're talking about dang, it would have been nice to have Jared Verse, yeah, but we wouldn't have Penix. And there's no quarterback in this current draft that I like with Penix. So, I mean,
and had we not had Penix and Kirk melted down the way he did, now granted, does Kirk melt down if Penix isn't on the roster?
Probably not.
The world may never know, but let's just say he does because we actually saw it in real time, right?
Yeah.
Or let's just say he has a decent season and we lose in the first round. We're picking at 22, 23. Our quarterback of the future is most likely a second or third round quarterback this year then. Is that the carousel you want to get back on? We just did Ritter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and going into the season, every conversation me and you were having, we both were like, bro, Ritter's an average quarterback. I don't think anybody who watched him play thinks Penix is going to be average. He may be bad because he trusts his arm a little too much, but like most people think, he's going to be good. You know what I'm saying? Because he's got.
Yeah, but the thing is like even I don't think he'd be bad because he trusts his arm, but the thing is he didn't make any bad decisions.
Yeah, both picks. Well, one pick was his fault.
No, it wasn't. The receiver ran the wrong route. When you're throwing with anticipation, you're depending on your receiver to be there. He ran the wrong route and he didn't play the rest of the game.
Ah, that's true. Then the other one, Kyle Pitts was playing for the other team.
And then the same thing happened with Ray Ray. He had 3 picks and none of them were really his fault. Like you could blame that second one on him, but the receiver ran the wrong route. So like I'm having a hard time putting it on him because the quarterback, if you're throwing it there with the expectation that your guy's there, it's hard for me to put it on you.
I feel like this Josh Allen slander that I be giving year after year is going to come back like full force because I highly anticipate Penix being double-digit interceptions next year.
I don't think so.
Oh no! But I see 27 plus touchdowns. Like I'm really high on Penix through next season.
I mean, it might be double digit. It might be like 10 to 12, but I don't think so because it's a small sample size, but he didn't really put the ball in danger a lot of the like. He didn't really put the ball in danger. Like he now does he do things that most quarterbacks won't do because of his arm? Absolutely. Will that result in turnovers? Absolutely, sure will sometimes.
What was that? Yeah, probably.
That's the nature of the beast. But like depending on how much people weigh these things, like PFF had him ranked like I don't think he had any turnover worthy passes.
Yeah,
and
He seems like the type that'll throw that ball. It'll
Yeah,
bounce off
he'll
the
throw it away.
yeah, it'll bounce off the receiver's chest. It'll go into the defender's hands. He gonna say type shit, come back out and throw throw a touchdown, baby. Like
Yeah.
it is what it is.
He's not phased at all. So I like that. I really fuck with that.
So yeah, video was out. We went a little long, but appreciate you guys that stuck around. I'll go ahead and splice these together. But always, as always, when you hear this on Spotify, please, please, please tune into the YouTube. You'll be able to hear the live, see the live. Love audience members. We love being able to interact. BOAF Media. It'll be pinned on Spotify. All you got to do is click the hyperlink. You guys may notice that we have slightly more ads. That's just like Fans First Sports Network. That's who we're signed to. They kind of control that. So if you hear like an on-air ad, that'll be me and Taj. But those breaks within the video, that's them. Got some feedback about that one. I'm not going to lie to y'all. That's not going to change. So if you want to hear the full audio without having to do that, you can just come to the YouTube. Always need subscribers. Love to see y'all there. Other than that, Taj, you got anything?
That's about it for me.
All right. It's been your boy Q City.
Your boy Taj Bravado.
We out.
This one.